Onorevole Verhofstadt,
Well,
per
to try
4 minuti.
try to do it in 4 minutes, because I have a Spanish, a Catalan colleague and a Basque colleague who want to intervene, and I want not to be killed afterwards. So what could happen? But Prime Minister, I think there is one underexposed characteristic of Spain, and you have also been proof of that. That is, it is maybe the most pro-European country for the moment in Europe, because it has the guts to talk about a federal Europe. And there are not so many of your colleagues who are coming here and have the courage to talk about a federal Europe. I think it's not by accident. I think it's because European history and Spanish democracy are interlinked. It's because I think the last decades in your foreign affairs departments, it are all members of this House who take responsibility. Inigo Mendes de Vigo, Mrs. Palacio, Josep Borrell, my good friend, was a former civil servant, Miguel Moratinos, and last but not least, there is a competition in Spanish politics to be the most pro-European party between Partido Popular, the PSOE, and Ciudadanos. And I like that. I like that, to see that in every country in the European Union there should be a competition between the national political parties to be the most pro-European. That's the way forward. But I have to tell you, I am, after, I don't know, it's the 15th debate that we have on the future of the European Union, I'm a little bit frustrated about all these debates. Because every time there is a Prime Minister, a President coming here, making a whole list of all the new European policies that we need to have, social policies, tax policies, migration policies, European army. And we never tackle the question, why doesn't that happen today? What is the obstacle? Why we are always acting too little too late? Compare, for example, to our American friends, who in 9 months can tackle the financial crisis, and we, after 9 years, have still not a banking union. We, after several years of an enormous tragedy in the Mediterranean, I want to congratulate you for the way you dealt with the refugees of the Aquarius. But let's be honest, that's the consequence of inhumane nationalistic policies by Mr. Salvini, who was the real source and reason for that, and the lack of European policies. Why we don't have still a European border and coast guard, why we still don't have an agreement on the reform of Dublin, for example, after so many years of tragedies in the Mediterranean. Why we don't have a European army today. Why we still struggle with the reform of the Eurozone. 9 years, 9 years after the start of the financial crisis. That is for me the key question. And I hope that in your reply in a few minutes, you will go into that problem. For me, the problem is that we have bad institutions for the moment in the European Union. And bad institutions create bad results. Good institutions create good results. The problem is, and I want to repeat it again and again and again, I will continue to do that, together with a number of you, it's the unanimity rule that exists in our Union, and especially in the European Council, was the main problem that has to be solved. That's the main problem. The imbalance that there exists between the European Parliament deciding with majority and the European Council that continues to decide with unanimity. All the examples that I have given are all files blocked in the European Council. So my plea to you is, now and also in the coming years, please take also up this political battle that we need to win. Otherwise, all our long list will be wish lists that will never be realized. And I think, Mr. President, I did for the first time something what is impossible to keep more or less my 4 minutes. Thank you.